Good morning and welcome to Failure to Stop podcast, the number one show for police related breakdowns. Coming to you almost the halfway point of the book tour for Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story. Today's show is brought to you by rangerup.com. That's rangerup.com. They've got the bestseller collection back. Listen, they've got a shirt featuring Pig Latin, the official tee of Pig Latin from Ranger Up. Head over to rangerup.com right now and pick up your Pig Latin shirt. And then also today's show brought to you by Pig Latin, the book. Pig Latin, a seriously funny true story, out everywhere. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Target, Walmart. You can find it anywhere online and just about in any store. As a matter of fact, somebody just sent me a really cool picture from the Barnes & Noble in New Jersey. Looks like it was sold out there. And then somebody sent me a picture of it in the window at LaGuardia Airport in New York. That was really cool to see. People have been sending me pictures from Florida, California, Texas, San Antonio. Beth and Greg, the bar is open, went and found us in San Antonio. So Pig Latin, seriously funny true story. It's everywhere. And it's gaining traction. It's gaining momentum. We've got a big case breakdown for you today. But before we jump into today's case breakdown, let's get into the intro. And then, maybe Deadleg will be here with us. He did have a doctor's appointment this morning. He has been going through a lot of medical issues over the last month. And plus, he's working with a new company, a light bar company. A lot of people have been DMing and saying, hey, where's Josh? Where's Josh? Where's he gone? Somebody tried to stir up some drama and said, oh, Josh quit the show. That is absolutely not true. I talk to Josh almost every single day of my life. I'm on a book tour. He's going through all this VA medical stuff. Plus, he started with this new company doing the light bars, and they're completely swamped. They're crushing right now. And so, sometimes he can make it and sometimes he cannot. And that's really all there is to it. But Josh is one of my best friends. So hopefully he will be here soon. But until then, let me play this intro for you.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
When law enforcement was big in the news, this show was started by the Drinking Bros Network, Ross Patterson, Dan Holloway, Mike the Cop. They started this show and were amazing to bring me on board. A peasant, a man who had just gotten out of law enforcement, had no social media following, was the owner of a brand new distillery business right as COVID hit all of us. But police needed a show back then because the police were the forefront. You guys were up front. The thin blue line was the people were trying to break the line. We had George Floyd, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor. I mean, you name it. And law enforcement was going through it. They were radicalizing the pussification of the police departments in a way we had never seen before. They were lowering the standards to get into law enforcement, but at the same time, making it harder for the people who should be law enforcement officers to become law enforcement. What I mean by that is your military veterans, your guys with prior service in bigger cities, all of these guys who were extremely qualified to be the police no longer could be the police because they say, well, you would have to have a 4-year degree or you would have to meet this or that. And so it made it harder for those guys to become police, but then it made it easier for, some fat person to become a police officer just because somebody they had a 4-year degree or because they checked the blocks as a DEI hire. Maybe they were gay, trans, whatever the case was. They were able to make it, even if they had a few misdemeanors under their belts or a couple of felonies even. Look, we saw what happened in Memphis. And so the show came at a time when when the war on law enforcement was overt and it was obvious what was going on. And then we had to ride out these years where the police were defunded and we were trying to justify bringing the warrior mindset back But the media did a great job. They wanted you to believe so bad that this new style of community policing was actually working, that they did their best to try to keep any and all law enforcement activity the best that they could out of the media. And so we really didn't have a lot of news coverage going on law enforcement for about the last 3 years, surprisingly, shockingly. And I've said from the beginning that we had to wait this out as a show because the shit's going to hit the fan. The pendulum's going to swing the other way. And all of this pussification of police officers and policing, which society on paper, because we are a rebellious country, and I'm proud to be a rebellious American. I'm fine. I get it. We're anti-authority literally by birth. Like, that's what it means to be American. 1776. Am I right? Like, that's what it means to be an American, to be, we're not going to pay these taxes to the king. We're not going to do these things. So I get it. I get the rebelliousness. But when you allow society to use rebellion and use that to get rid of a noble profession and to make that noble profession next to obsolete, violent crime is going to enter the streets, vigilantism is going to become a thing, and people are going to become fatigued by the things around them. And then it's going to get a lot worse before it will ever get better. And so we went through that time period of it just kind of getting bad, and we're just kind of ignoring it until it got so bad that it's spilling over into our streets. And if we haven't seen in the last year how bad it's really gotten, I don't remember what the exact quote was, but it was, you keep denying that you're at war long enough, the war will finally be in your backyard and it'll be too late. You'll be surrounded. If the enemy keeps advancing and you go, oh, the enemy's not advancing, we're not really at war. This isn't really a war. We're fine. And the enemy breaks off and heads to the left flank and the right flank. And still you say, well, no, they have a reason to be there. Listen, they're fine. It's fine. The enemy at the gates, it's not a big deal. Like, that's where they want to go. Like, they need to go over there to get this. They need to go over there to this, right? And all the meanwhile, the people who know what's going on, who don't have the veil over their head, and say, no, like, right now they're flanking us. What are you talking about? Like, we're about to be annihilated. And then all of a sudden you're surrounded. And then those same people are like, oh, I think we're at war now. Actually, I think these guys are actually the bad guys. And it's too late. We're seeing it worldwide. It's actually quite crazy. Then we have the Charlie Kirk incident that happens, which is just absolutely sad and insane. And we see what's going on worldwide with the marches and everything. But did you know in Austria that like half the political party that was going against whatever the other political party, I'm not like in Austria political, but this is real. Like, I'm not giving you bad information, but they were like half of them were killed before the election, like in the span of like 10 days. I'm not gonna say they were assassinated. I won't go that far because I don't want to be a spreader of misinformation or disinformation. But I want you to go and look up what the politics that are going on in Austria right now. Like, the world is fed up, and still we have these sheep that are saying we're not at war. Like, no, it's okay, it's fine. Gang members and gangs in general have grown over the last 10 years. That's okay. It's all right. It's not a big deal. Politically radicalized, mentally unwell human beings are posting just violent rhetoric and disgusting rhetoric. We're watching the media post things that are just completely unacceptable. We're like, oh, it's fine. It's freedom of speech. We're okay. It's cool. Like, we're not at war with these guys. They can kind of say whatever they want. They can do these calls of action all they want. It's okay. We're not really at war. Then you have 10 police officers killed, shot. I'm sorry, not killed. In Pennsylvania on a warrant service. You have people tipping off illegal immigrants, murderers, and rapists. They're letting them know that ICE is coming for them. And these warrants are getting even more dangerous. I remember when I was just getting out of law enforcement, and I want to tell this story because it's so pertinent to what is going on right now with the sheep of this country. I had this gentleman that I trained. I won't say his name. He's no longer a cop, unfortunately. He was a good one. Too good. He was a Christian kid from I believe it was Puerto Rico. Maybe it was Dominican Republic. It was Dominican Republic, 100% Dominican Republic. And he was failing his training in the North District. This kid wasn't a warrior at all. Massive Christian. This kid was like one step from being Amish. You know what I mean? Like, what's this? The Jay-Z song? Couldn't bust a fruit fly in a food fight or something like that. And so he's about to fail, and I hadn't failed any rookies, and so they bring him to the Southeast District, and they said, Tansey, this kid doesn't have it. He doesn't. He's too soft, and he's gonna fail. But we're gonna put him with you because you're a wild man. And if you read the book Pig Latin or you listen to it, I pray that you listen to it on audio because it's a life-changing book. Like, I don't know, you guys in the chats, hit me up. Armory Knight, Jenny, Abby Ellsworth, let me know in the chat. Is it a game changer book? Is it did it surprise you? Like, everybody that has read this book was like, dude, I am so incredibly surprised by the book. And like, I never brag about myself. Matter of fact, people say I've had therapists reaching out to me from the book saying like, you have the worst self-esteem of anybody I know. Matter of fact, after my show with Andy Stump, literally one of the YouTube comments, one of the most recent YouTube comments is like, this is what imposter syndrome really looks like. You know, and I have suffered that, and we'll talk about it here shortly because it's an open show today. This is a very odd show to do today. And I do have a case breakdown out of Montgomery County, I promise. But I want to get through this because it's important to me. It's been weighing very heavy on my heart all week. The book is amazing. It's an incredible book. And I talk about all these things in this book. So here we go. So I have this kid from Dominican Republic. And he's in my car and they put him with me because I'm the wild man. I'm the one that gets you into the foot chases. I'm the one that, you know, gets you into the things that you never expected you would be able to get into. Some people say I had the golden horseshoe stuck up my ass. Others say I had a black cloud following my head. I was often confused on what it was. I still to this day, I don't know. I was just talking to a friend. I don't know if I have a golden horseshoe stuck up my ass or if I have a black cloud following me forever. I don't know. I really don't. I really wish I did know. There's a lot of great things that happen in my life, and there's a lot of great, amazing things that I have going on in my life. But in the same token, like, I have the worst luck as well. So he rides with me and he does a great job. And we work on what makes him happy. And he really likes mediating domestic violence situations. And he's a great mediator. He's a good talker because he's compassionate and he's kind and he's sweet. He was a Christian. Well, towards the end of his last 2 weeks of 20 weeks of training on the streets outside of the academy, a call goes out at a McDonald's in the downtown district of a crazy woman that refuses to leave, trespassing. We're close enough to downtown. We're a Southeast District unit, but we're close enough to downtown. And you know what? Homeboy is on his last 2 weeks, which means I do not interfere with the way he does it. I just make sure he doesn't get shot or killed, and I evaluate everything he does. So I don't help him unless he calls for backup, then I help him. But for the most part, he's supposed to deal with this as if I'm not there. And so we go to this McDonald's, and I call the downtown district over the radio, and I say, hey, I've got a rookie, and we really need a call like this because I need to evaluate him. Can we have that call? Not a problem, right? There's no drugs involved. There's no high value arrest. Like, literally, this is a quality of life issue. That beat officer is going to be like, dude, freaking please take this off my plate. I don't want it. Yes. Like, by all means, have this rookie come and take this bullshit. Call it McDonald's. And so we show up to the McDonald's in the downtown district, and there is a very angry black female. And I have to say black female because it does matter to this case. The color of one's skin does matter in this case. And so she's an irate woman that she got a bacon, egg, and sausage, and she wanted a bacon, egg, and cheese. And so he goes in there and he says, well, what going on, man? Because he's from the Dominican Republic. How can I help you? My name is Officer such and such, you know. And they say, well, this lady ordered this and we gave her this. She said that's not what she ordered. So we took it back and we gave her a second thing. And she's still saying this isn't what she ordered. And I'm not going to just keep making biscuits for a crazy person. So he says, ma'am, what are the problem? She says, I want a bacon, egg, and sausage. And he says, well, did they give you a bacon, egg, and sausage? And she says, no, they gave me a bacon, egg, and cheese. And he says, no, ma'am, we gave you a bacon, egg, and sausage. You didn't want that. You said you wanted the bacon, egg, and cheese. You gave back the sausage. We gave you the cheese, and now you want the sausage. Things cops deal with, right? So she says, so my buddy, I'm like, oh, this is spicy. I wonder how this is going to play out. And he says, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy you 2 biscuits. I'm going to buy you the sausage, egg, and cheese. I'm going to buy you the bacon, egg, and cheese. And then you're going to have both the sandwiches. You're going to choose whatever sandwich you want to eat, but you cannot do it here. How's my accent doing? I did a lot of practice on accents during the book. I just want to make sure I'm doing good right now. So dumbfounded, she's like, I can't argue with that, I guess. And so she takes the 2 biscuits and we go outside to have her trespass. And so we walk outside and he goes, Mama, where are you from? And she says, well, I just came from Philly on a bus, on the Greyhound bus. And he says, well, where are you trying to go? She says, I'm trying to go to Florida. You're trying to go to Florida. You're a long way from Florida. And a bus station a long way down the road, you know. And she goes, I don't have any money, and they kicked me off the bus. Obviously, they kicked her off the bus because she's crazy. Probably not because she didn't have any money, but because she's batshit crazy. And he says, well, I cannot leave you here. Have you ever been to Raleigh before? She says, no, I've never been to Raleigh before. I don't know anywhere. Where am I supposed to go? And he goes, I tell you what, I take you to the homeless shelter. There's a women's shelter down the way. I get you checked into both. That way you have a place to sleep, and you got a place to talk to other women. And I'm sitting back going, damn, I couldn't have come up with that better idea myself. I would have taken her to Durham. The weather's much nicer there this time of year anyway, and I would have dropped her off. Not my problem. But he's a good cop. He's a good Christian man. He's not even a cop at this point. He's being a man. He's being a good Christian man. He just take out Christian. He's just being a good man. He cares about this woman. He cares about the job. I was proud to be there that day watching this happen. I kind of felt bad because I knew I wouldn't have handled it that good. Wish I was that good of a cop, that patient. So he goes and he says he'll give her a ride, but he knows what the policy is. And the policy is we do not allow people into our police cars without handcuffs and without being searched first or patted down. And he says, I can take you to these places. She's got 2 biscuits in hand and a cup of OJ. And so he explains to her, if you want, I can take you to these shelters and get you processed, but you got to let me pat you down and you got to let me put you in handcuffs. But I'll put your handcuffs in the front. That way they're not in the back, but I can't let you in the car without handcuffs. And he's being evaluated, so he's got to play by the book. And she agrees. Pretty impressed. I don't think I could talk a crazy lady at McDonald's that's already been kicked off a Greyhound bus and kicked out of McDonald's. I don't think I could talk her into getting into a cop car in handcuffs, but he did. And she agrees. But before he can get her into handcuffs and he's patting her down off the hood of the car, a white woman jumps out of her convertible, her Mercedes-Benz convertible with the top down. She had fakies, big old fakies, probably D's, blonde hair. I won't forget it. High heels, business dress, very tight. How can I forget it? I'm evaluating. I'm taking it all in. But she gets out of her car, phone in hand. She walks right up to this brand new rookie officer who's trying his best to mediate a scenario. He's extremely stressed out because he knows I'm evaluating him. He knows I'm taking notes. Is he doing it right? Is he doing the right thing? Is he filling out the right forms? He's nervous. This is his last chance at being a cop. Here she comes with her phone in hand. She walks right up to him. She says, I got you. I want your name and I want your badge number. I saw the whole thing. And I'm assistant to the regional manager of the district attorney. You know how it goes. You know how these white women get, right? You've seen the videos of how these white women get. Like, you know what I mean? My dad owns the biggest peanut butter factory in the North Carolina. You're fucked. You don't know who you're fucking dealing with. They're always somebody. Then you find out they're the assistant to the assistant of the regional manager. So she comes out with all this legal jargon that she works for this such law firm. Yada, yada, yada. And I can see this rookie's soul being drained from his body as this very easy tasks. I won't say it's an easy task because it wasn't, but he was making it look easy. He had it in the bag. And he was about to get this woman right where she needs to be. And all of a sudden, the world is just crashing down on top of him because this white woman with big fake titties and a strapping tight business dress and her high heels and her Mercedes convertible with her iPhone 6 at the time, which was a big deal probably. I saw the whole thing. I want your name and I want your badge number. Ma'am, you do not have to listen to this cop right here. You don't have to listen to this cop. You've done nothing wrong, honey. You've done nothing wrong. I've been here the whole time. I've been watching. What do you think, batshit crazy lady? Who do you think she's going to listen to in that moment? I'll leave it up to the chats. Who do you think the crazy woman is going to side with? The cop in uniform, the shaken rookie, or this very confident, big-tittied, bimbo blonde white woman with a convertible that looks like she's rich and successful? Who do you think this crazy woman's going to listen to? The chats say, Karen, the actual crazy lady. You're right. That's who they listen to. And so now we have this crazy girl that was just about willing to go to the shelter and actually get real help. Counseling, other women, a place to sleep, probably a place to get her meds re-upped. She had a fighting chance. I won't say it was 100%, but she was up to a 50% chance of success for the day, getting a check block on getting chores done for the day. Oh, yeah, he's throwing me up against the car. I ain't going with him. I don't have to go with you. Let me go. I don't need you. Yeah, fuck the police. Y'all come up here. Y'all always harassing. Yeah, you always harassing. Oh, don't worry, honey. I got this on video. I'm videoing. I'm going to get his bad number, girl. You're good, girl. You're good. I got you, girl. Comes the white woman with the Mercedes and the convertible and the fakies. And, obviously has a real sense of what this world is. Long story short, we put the woman in handcuffs under a trespassing charge because now we have to tell her to leave. She doesn't want to get in the car. Well, she can't stay here at McDonald's. Well, you can't tell me where to go, where I can't go. Ma'am, you can get off the McDonald's parking lot right now or you'll be trespassed. I ain't getting off nowhere. Guess what happened to the biscuits that my rookie bought? Scattered across the parking lot. Nobody got to eat those biscuits. You like biscuits? How do you like these biscuits? Whoosh. Cat paws right off the fucking hood of the car. And now we're putting this girl into handcuffs and trespassing her from the McDonald's. All the meanwhile, Karen is videotaping this and that. And now we've got a real problem on our hands because now this woman has 0 check blocks on her chores for today. Now, thank God that this rookie was smart and the whole thing was a facade and he wasn't really arresting her, which we had to talk about. You can't tell somebody they're under arrest and then be like, psych, taking you to the fucking homeless shelter. Great thing to do. Right thing to do on paper, not on paper. The right thing to do on a humanity level, on a human standard. Right thing to do, right? I promise you this ties into this case you're just about to watch. But on paper, not the right thing to do. For people who have no idea what they're doing. Now, this lady went and called. She went and called the department. She made a complaint. That was my rookie's first complaint ever. Says that he roughed her up, threw her up against the hood of the car, was arresting her for no reason. She was being polite and cooperative, and he put her in cuffs anyway. That's the story she told. Because from her perspective, that's what she wanted the story to be. She didn't take the time to come over and ask me, the evaluator, what was going on. She didn't give us a chance to explain the policy, the fact that he literally de-escalated the situation superbly and was going to get this girl into a cop car and get her delivered to where she needed to go and get her check block for chores for the day. She didn't ask any of those questions. And what she did was give this world from the shot at being from a chance at being a 50% chance of becoming somebody. Now this chick went a 0% chance. Had it not been this really good Christian cop that ended up doing the wrong thing the right way. That makes sense. Because again, he said you're under arrest for trespassing, but he really didn't arrest her. He was taking her to thing, which is a no-no. You can't do that. Can't do that. Of course, I let it go. I don't care. I think the right thing to do is the right thing to do. You see, society right now society's at war with the police and the internal affairs and the Karens up at the IAs. They didn't believe us, right? They say, well, no, this woman has a point of view. Maybe we can do something different. Maybe because perception has become reality. Do you remember when I first started this show 5 years ago, whatever it was with Mind the Cup? And my favorite quote was, perception is not reality. And this is a dangerous road we're all going to. Because you perceive something to be a certain way does not mean that that is the reality. If I bust into a house, I used to say this all the time, and there is a man on top of a woman, the woman is dead with a knife in her chest. The man has his hand on the knife and he is covered in blood and he is the husband. It still does not mean that he is the one that killed the wife or the girl on the floor. The perception is not always the reality. He came home. Somebody else stabbed her. The reality is he's trying to get the knife out, but he knows not to pull the knife out because that's going to do more harm. And so now he doesn't know what to do. Do I do CPR? And he's in a panic and he's covered in blood and he's trying to do it. It doesn't mean he murdered the woman. And we just because we see something like that, we can't. That's not what our court system was designed to do. It was designed to fight the perception, because perception is not always reality. Sometimes it is. But we have to stop just because we perceive something that we're all in. We're 100% in. Now, there's a good chance that you get in and you say, no, this guy definitely looks like the killer. Let's go ahead and cuff him. Let's get him down the station. But then after that, you've got to be objective. And when you start canvassing and people start saying he would never lay his hand on her, he would never do this, he would never do this. However, there's this one guy down the streets that's been very jealous, or this one guy's been stalking her. Now, all of a sudden, right? We start to see the bigger picture and we're like, well, maybe this guy didn't do it. So if we go in with the perception as reality and we treat this guy like a piece of shit, we rough him up, we throw him down the seat, we plaster him all over social media, we start sending out all of his information and text messages because we perceive him to be a certain way, blah, 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 blah. Now we've like socially murdered this guy and ruined his life over basically a miscommunication. So now we have my old training officer Santana joining us in the live here. What's going on, Jace? I wasn't expecting you. Can you hear us? Are you just watching? Now you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Unmuted. I can hear you now.
All right. I had to jump on when you told me Taser would be involved.
Oh yeah, I've got to show this video. Since you're here, you're a training expert on the Taser. Are you in a spot right now where you can watch this breakdown?
You can see it.
Okay, so I want to say everything that I just said before, because now I'm going to show you this video of a bunch of officers who did the humanly right thing to do, but on paper they did the extreme wrong thing. All right. But it proves a lot of things, and I'll close out because I want to go quickly for Cam since he's here. I want to show him the video. I don't want to waste his time. Keep these in thoughts. I'm going to go back to all the things I just said. I'm going to tie it into this video. All of it. Everything I just said. Here we go. You guys ready for the case breakdown for today? Here you go. It's a 3-minute video, Cam. I'm going to play the whole thing.
County Police, anybody home? Yep. Hey, boss. Hey, boss. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Let me hands. Take a step out. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hey, you. Boss. Hey, you're okay. Relax. Come talk to us. Tell us what's going on. Hey, boss. Mary 23, priority.
What the f*** good?
Come talk to us. Put the knife down now. Put the knife down.
What do you guys do?
All right, officers work with family members to de-escalate the situation. Speak with the subject, Gokhan Dugan, who is inside the home with his 9-year-old son. When officers enter the residence, Gokhan retreated to the kitchen with a
Drop the knife
and the
now.
kid.
Drop the knife. You're not in trouble. Drop the knife. Boss, drop the knife now. Please. Please drop the knife.
I will drop the knife.
Okay. Do me a favor, please. We don't want you to get hurt. Please drop the knife so I do not...
I don't know what's going on.
I will explain it to you. You have a knife to your son.
You're gonna hang up on me. You're gonna put me in the...
No. But we need you to drop the knife so no one gets hurt.
I'm not trying to hurt it. I'm trying to protect myself and my son.
Please drop your knife. We are the police.
Okay?
Please. I do not want to have to shoot you, man. Please drop the knife. You're scaring your son.
He's safe with me.
Then can you leave the knife in there and step out? That's it. Your wife is right outside. Please don't make me tell you again.
Officers continue giving commands and work to resolve the situation without injury. A 5th District Sergeant entered the residence. I don't want to say the rest of this because I want you guys to be surprised. Here.
Drop the knife.
He's got his son right behind the wall, so outside. I want to see my wife in the house, and talk to me.
Look, man. Put the knife down so we don't have to hurt you. All right? You understand?
I am trying to protect...
Put it down or you're going to get tased. Put it down. Now. Put it down. Hands on! Hands on! Hands on! Stay back, stay back, stay back. What's the knife? What's the knife?
I am trying to
Put it down or you're going to get tased. Put it down. Now. Put it down. Hands on! Hands on! Hands on! Hands on! Hands on!
There's the knife, big giant cake knife.
Watch yourself, watch yourself.
There it is, a big, Freddy Krueger, Jason knife.
Here, here's the knife. Move in the object.
And they get the man into custody. So there you go. That is the case. Cam, there we go, Cam. As a taser expert, listen, like on paper, this is not the right thing to do.
Right. Okay, can you hear me good?
Yeah, stop moving. Turn your cam off and then just talk. We don't need to see
so
you.
real quick. Hold on, I'll find a shade spot here.
No, you're good.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, so here's the problem. A lot of these scenarios is that we've got this training scar that tasers are the end-all, be-all solution. And when you're dealing with someone that has a knife, that's a deadly threat. That's not, tasers should be used in static situations. And, you've also got to keep in mind that a taser's accuracy is about the size of a pie plate. So it's meant to hit large objects, not to, someone
Hey, Cam.
or a, contact.
All right. Well, we cannot hear Cam, so I'm going to save you guys from that. Somebody says sound is 2 for 10. The point he's trying to make here, and maybe we can get him back. I think if Cam, if you can hear me, if you turn off your video and just go audio, then it'll probably sound better because you're just lagging with no internet. So I would turn off the video function. Try that. Let me see if I can bring him back on the stage here. Unmute yourself there, Cam. See if that'll work. Sorry about this, folks. Hopefully he can get his audio squared away. I'll leave it up there. What he's saying is that the taser is not a it's not lethal force. It's less than lethal. On paper, And by every rule and by every doctrine and every tactic known to man, you shoot this guy. You shoot him right in the face with that M4 rifle. Not a problem. Less than 10 yards away. Should be an easy shot. The kid's pretty safe behind the countertop because he's short enough. You could take that. I mean, my 12-year-old could probably make that shot. But did you hear the humanity in everybody's voices? Here's a father saying, I'm not going to hurt this kid. The kid's safe with me. I think that they truly believed him. It's a gamble. Woo, that is a gamble. Well, that's like going all in with 2 8s, baby. I don't know if I'm doing it. Let's see here. Cam, are you back? Can we hear you? Cam, are you there?
All right, can we hear?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you now. Try that.
Okay, I caught part of what you're saying. You're exactly right. So in these situations, it's deadly force. This is not a situation where we want to use pepper spray or a taser, ideally. And the big reasons why are
I'm sorry. I'm going to remove him from the thing again. His audio is just, I don't know if you have a microphone on, Cam. Why don't you take just go off of the phone's audio and take the headphones out. Try that. Can you hear me, Cam?
I've got the headphones out.
That's great.
Yeah.
We can hear you perfect now. That's really
Can you
good.
hear
We
me?
can really hear you. Oh yeah, that's great.
Okay, so
Well, nope, went right back to sucking ass. Never mind. Now it's even worse. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. I'm not sure if it's the internet or his microphone or what it is, but yeah, Michael August says he sounds like Stephen Hawking. He does not like it. Yeah, barely unreadable. But anyway, we'll go back to it. I'm going to play the video just from the beginning. Rest in peace, Santana. Will Cray says that is Cameron Santana from True Crime Santana. Go and check him out. He's not in his studio right now. He was blessing us by trying to get a hold of us while on a morning walk because he was listening to it. And I love that. But it obviously just wasn't working out. You can tell in these cops' voices that they are empathetic. This is the hardest thing about being a cop. So this is where I want to tie it all back in. You just saw the video. Let me tie it all back in here. We have a group of Karens, a group of people who would like you to believe that we are killers, that we are racist, that we are warmongers, that we want to use our guns, that we want to use more than we want to use deadly force. We want to use physical violence to apprehend people. They would like to make you believe that law enforcement is the bad guy in all these scenarios and that we don't have a heart. But every time the police have had a heart, the media, one, doesn't pay attention to that. This video doesn't make the news. You're not going to see this video anywhere. The only time you'll see a video of a cop being kind is if it blows up in his face, Gabby Petito case. End point. When a cop had empathy, when the cops tried to do the right thing by not taking anybody to jail, by not ruining anybody's life for the day, by not having to process somebody into a jail when they know that they're from a different state, and it's going to just make their lives even more miserable. And they try to do the right thing by letting both parties go and work it out on their own like adults. And then one ends up murdering everybody. They painted the cops out to be incompetent assholes. Uvalde, Texas, 6 cops whose main funding is to combat fentanyl. They don't have shields. They don't have ballistic shields. They don't have battering rams. They don't have radios that work inside of the schools, which I would argue that almost no cop has a radio that will work inside of a school building. The schools are literally built so that you cannot communicate outside of the school. I think that's ridiculous. That's another story. You have demilitarized the police. They don't have the tools that they need to fight the war on crime. It is absolutely a war. And the more you deny it, the more deadly the war becomes. And then they have the worst case scenario possible, a murder, a shooting, all at the same time with 6 cops that don't really work violent crimes ever, and then a school shooting. And now they've got to figure out how to make it work. And you as a society and the whole world tried to shame those cops. You tried to have them arrested. You called them incompetent. You called them cowards. You socially bastardized them. This is what I would have done. This is what I would have done. You've never done shit in your life. You don't know what you would have done. You don't know, because guess what? You're not even in the fucking arena. So don't tell me what you would do. You're not even in the arena. You got a play carrier and you go shooting on the weekends. Great. Then go get in the arena and then talk shit. Quit saying what you would do. You wouldn't do it. You couldn't even be there. You're not even there. You're the ones that took away the demilitarization of the police department anyway. How many veteran talking heads did you hear on podcasts trying to even make cops look incompetent and saying that they should be demilitarized, even though most cops, a lot of cops are fucking veterans. A lot of cops are ex-special operations. A lot of cops have tons of experience. And still society 4 or 5 years ago tried to make cops look like the most incompetent, and we've defunded them. We've taken away all the tools, and then we expect them to be able to handle situations like Uvalde, even though that they don't have the training and they don't have the funding to do those things. Now you have some officers who said this is a father who doesn't seem like he wants to hurt his kid, but then again, he has his kid at knife point. Pretty fucking weird, right? Pretty weird. Then you got to throw in language barriers. Geez, that's a tough case. This is a lot to work through. Are we killing this guy in front of his son? He just said his son is safe with him. The kid doesn't seem like so much in distress. What's the right call here? Is this guy at his worst moment? Is he lost and confused? Does he think this is his only way out? Is this a big misunderstanding? Let's see what was put out. On July 26, officers responded to a home following reports of domestic disturbance. The caller reported that the man was inside the residence threatening his child. Officers with the department's 5th District attempted to de-escalate the situation and communicate with the man upon arrival. Police say that when officers entered the home, the man went into the kitchen and held the child at knife point. Despite repeated commands to drop the weapon, the man refused. The sergeant then deployed a taser, which caused the man to release the knife. Officers safely removed the child and took the suspect into custody without injury to the child and any of the officers. Who in the chats has ever seen the video of the man being tased that falls on his own knife and it impales him? I don't remember if that guy died in that video. Famous video, though. Famous video. I'm glad that these officers de-escalated it. I'm glad to see that there's a humanity in police officers. But at the same time, is that your job to gamble? Is that your gamble to take? Is that what society has put on your shoulders? Is that your job to gamble? I don't have the answer. I really don't. You guys can see the story in my book where I decide to punch a dude in the face trying to get his gun out, and I never break away and shoot him. Instead, I just punch him until he's lights out. And I got reprimanded for not shooting him. And I got this speech that I'm telling you right now. Eric, you gambled with not only your life, but your partner's life and the public's life. It's not your job. That society doesn't count on you to gamble. You have to take the sure thing. Your kids demand that you take the sure thing. He goes for a gun, you kill him. That's the sure thing. That ensures 100% positivity that you go home to your family. That ensures that your partner goes home to his family. That ensures that this man doesn't kill you or your partner. Is it your job as a cop to gamble, to de-escalate because of public perception? Remember, perception is not reality. And the department should use this, and they will. Oh, look what we did. We de-escalated this situation. We didn't kill somebody tonight. Great. That's all. I'm so glad this worked out. I really am. For the kids' sake, for the father's sake, for the wife's sake. Legit. I'm glad it worked out. And we could what if all the time. But now we're to the point where we have reduced the lethalness of a taser. I don't mean lethal in like lethality, like death. I'm using it for lack of a better term. The effectiveness, let's say that. That's better words. We've reduced the effectiveness of tasers over the years. We have. Tasers have gotten much weaker. They're working less and less. They're less powerful. As Santana said, the accuracy of a taser is the size of a dinner plate. Fact, not opinion. Those darts come out and they'll spread about the size of a dinner plate. That's a long way. If you're aiming for somebody's head, you saw the picture, you see what they're aiming at. It's just a torso. That's an FBI silhouette at best.
Hey, man. Drop the knife now.
I'll show you here.
Do me a favor, please. We don't.
Let's see the silhouette. Let me get to it here.
Look, man.
Here we go. You're going to see the silhouette right now.
So we don't have to hurt you.
You've got a dinner plate. Left, right, north, south. Up, down, left, right, whatever you want to do it. West, east, south, north. Look at that. That is a very small target when you can miss by a dinner plate. Hopefully you miss by a dinner plate vertically so that maybe you hit him in the face and in the chest. But what if you missed, obviously it's always going to be vertical. So that's good. It's not a very big target when you know that the weapon you're about to shoot, you could miss by the size of a dinner plate or less. Also, we don't really have anybody talking about, hey, if this doesn't work, you shoot him in the face without thinking. I feel like that should be a conversation that we have before we do this. A lot of gambling right now, and we're doing this based on public perception. And it works out, and that's great. The media doesn't care. The department cares. The department's like, look at us. We made it. We did it. We de-escalated. We did all the things that society wants us to do, and it worked. And the mainstream media is like, we don't give a fuck. That's gay. Now, they tase this dude, and this dude accidentally, as he's seizing up, seizes that knife into the kid's armpit, and he bleeds out of an artery, and he dies. And the whole world would come down on this department. All you tacticians would be like, whoa, I would have shot him in a heartbeat. You can't take that. You have to take that shot. Blah, 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 blah. And this is where the war on police have gotten us, guys. In my opinion, I do this on a human level. This guy did the right thing. Great job. Check block. You stayed alive, and you get to live with that the rest of your life. And that's a lot better than my stupid opinion, right? Like these guys don't give a shit what I think. They're like, fuck that guy. I don't have nightmares of smoking this dude in front of his kid the rest of my life. I win. You do win. And I am so happy for you. I'm so happy. I think you guys did a fantastic job. You did a great job. And you get to sleep so peacefully at night, and so does the boy, and so does that dad and so does his wife. It all worked out. Worked out really good. But what I'm afraid of is when it doesn't work out. When the next guy like me that's all business in this scenario, because I gambled once, like this guy gambled once, and I got the speech I just gave you, I personally won't gamble again after that speech. You could see it in my book. You guys can read the speech in my book. I'm not going to gamble again. But now when I shoot this guy and society says, well, Montgomery County didn't shoot him and it worked, why didn't he tase him? Why didn't he tase him? Montgomery County they did it. It worked out just fine. Why didn't you try? Why didn't you try that route? There's a lot going on here. Language barriers, small target, dim lighting, messy house, confusion on what exactly is going on. Why is a father holding his son? There's that aspect of it too. Now you've got a child involved. Your mind's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. And now we're trying to get a perfect shot off with a taser and pray to God that this just works out. I mean, this is a tough case for me. I love it. It's a cool guy case, but it's a hard case for me to wrap my mind around. Because this is where we've gotten into society. Business side of things says, no, we're not gambling with that child's life. We're not gambling that this guy gets to stab a cop after he stabs his kid. Like, we've got to have a sure thing here. We've got to have a sure way out of this. Sorry, that's business. It's not personal. It's business. We're the cops. It's business time. That's the burden that you have to carry as a cop. Society doesn't get it. Society will never understand that burden that cops have to carry. And they will be so jumped to get on the internet and tear each other down or say things and do things. And at the end of the day, this is a very difficult situation because in one hand, they did the best job possible. On the other hand, it could have easily been the worst idea of all time. You went for it on 4th and 2 with 4 minutes left, and you got the first down. If you didn't, you're the worst coach in history. And society is just like the big-tittied bimbo with the tight dress getting out of her Mercedes-Benz with the convertible down. Their perception is reality. And when they call the Karens at IA and internal affairs who have kissed so much ass to be in that position, they're going to side with her because they haven't been on the line, because they'll watch a video like this and they'll have their own little perception. They won't look at it objectively. And that is the war that we have found ourselves in. We're all at war these days. I really do think that. I think we're all at war. I think there is a line in the sand. And the minute we admit that we're at war, then we can start to fight that war and combat it. And I'm not saying that there needs to be killing and shootings or anything of that sort. But what it is that somebody needs to start coming to the table and negotiating us out of this war. This us versus them. Us versus the police. Us versus ICE. The police versus them. The police versus Antifa. The police versus the far left. The police versus the far right. The police versus the sovereign citizens. If you don't believe that there's a war going on with all three of those entities, you're fucking delusional. The police are literally fighting everyone. We have to fight the gangs and the gang war that's going on. We have to fight the illegal immigrant war that's going on. We have the far left extremists that are shooting up schools. We have the far right wing extremists that are shooting up black churches and schools. We've got to fight the mental health system issue where we have mentally unfit people that are completely unchecked and uncared for, over-medicated, and parental illness that has plagued the nation and just allow these people to just run without any kind of consequence. A whole bunch of children that have never been spanked or told no. Or told no. And the cops have to fight this entire war, and we have nobody trying to negotiate at the table. There's nobody coming to the table to try, not the president, not the other former president, not the vice presidents, nobody. They just keep escalating the shit. And guess who has to deal with it? Guess who is going to go serve that warrant? And the guy's going to open up on them because they're politically radicalized. Or they're completely mentally off their shit. It's all on the police's shoulders. The police are the last crusaders. You're the only ones left. And like nobody's coming to help you. The politicians don't give a fuck. The police chiefs and city managers really don't give a fuck. We've become a politically radicalized nation, and the only people that are trying to have any kind of common decency and use any kind of tactic other than violent rhetoric. You don't see the police going on the internet and the interwebs and saying their piece. They're not allowed. And that's good because you're a cop and you should give up that freedom. Your objective: prevent crime, solve crime, try to make the world a better place the best that you can. Do your job. Somebody in the chat says the country needs to get back to Jesus. Isn't it crazy that people say that like Jesus or Christianity is why we're in the wars that we're in? I don't see that at all. I see the lack of Jesus creating all the chaos. Billy Graham and all the revivals, I didn't see a lot of violence. Charlie Kirk wasn't a violent man, I'll tell you that. The Amish, they're not very violent, are they? Some kind of moral standard is definitely needed. It's a sad state of affairs this week with the shooting of the 10 police officers, the killing of Charlie Kirk. I mean, just all the things in its totality have been really sad lately. It's really been a bummer. I've taken a lot of messages, found myself carrying a lot of weight for other people, and the weight's been heavy on my shoulders. I was mentally broke this weekend. Wasn't feeling it. Almost quit this whole podcast thing altogether. Don't like the news anymore. Don't like doing the media. It's gotten a little too much. I called Josh and some other folks and said, I don't think I want to do this anymore, man. I think I'm going to ride this book thing out and be done with it. But you know what? Every single person on this team said you can't. That there are people who listen to you. There are people who need to hear this voice. Like, listen, like it's when the times get tough that people need it, that need the podcast. Not when the times are easy. I'm going to keep doing the podcasts. I'm going to keep doing it. If you are Mormon, you believe as long as the states believe God respects for him, the nation will flourish. But when we turn away from God, the nation will crumble. I got a couple of good Mormon friends. A couple of guys that serve with their Mormons. I think when you definitely are a nation without any moral purpose or guidelines, that's for sure. And I think with the lack of accountability, you know, my mom used to always say, Jesus is watching. So when I'd be caught in the military and I heard the term, do the right thing even when no one's looking. I'd been doing that my whole life, or at least attempting to do it, because I always knew Jesus was looking. And I always had conviction on my heart. Conviction is good, right? Conviction on your heart means that when you go to the grocery store and you get something for free, you can't just, and you know it was an accident, you know that the cashier fucked up, but you have to bring it up. Hey, I think you misrung that. Hey, I think you did that wrong. You should do it again. Those are like those moral convictions that tug at your heart that don't allow you to walk out of the grocery store thinking that you won one over. Because guess what? Jesus saw it. You're not going to get caught. You're not going to go to jail for the fuck up. But you know what? If you believe in God, God saw it. And then what happens? You do the right thing because you know somebody's always watching. I still live my life like that. I still make reels sometimes and I go, I'm not going to get in any trouble for this reel. And it's justifiably a good reel. But then I always have that moral conviction of, well, would it make Jesus happy to make that reel? Is it making the world a better place? Makes it hard, right? You have to start having these moral dilemmas, these ethical dilemmas. That's good. Because then you're not just unhinged, going crazy, going wild. That's never a good thing. When you're just unhinged, like when you just say, fuck it, I'm going to have no moral code to live by. It never works out. It doesn't work out for anyone. Might work out good for like a month or two and you'll make a whole bunch of TikToks how great your life is and your marriage is as you live a debaucherous lifestyle. But guess what? It catches up in one way or the other. It catches up. I wouldn't recommend doing it for much longer. I would recommend coming back to that moral place, that moral high ground. This was a hard week for me. I'll be right up honest with you guys. It was a very hard week for me. It's hard for a lot of people. A friend of mine's wife died unexpectedly. That was really sad. A lot of things happened this week. Just so many things, personal things with business, with the book. They created a fake book. All these things. I don't even want to talk about my problems because, like my friend's wife died. They just had a 1-year-old child. and their wife died. Like people have some really bad problems, and it really puts it into perspective that my problems really aren't that big of a deal when you look out of it. So this week there's a lot of books I need to get out and mailed. I've got more books in there that's overwhelming. And I'll be honest with you, like going into my kitchen and seeing stacks of books that people want me to sign and mail back weighs heavy on my heart. But it's like, it's not one of those things where it's like I can just sit down and sign, like, and that maybe that is the answer. I sign 4 or 5 and take those to the post office, whereas in my brain, I've got to sign all these books and get them all to the post office all at one time. Well, that's like a 6-hour day. It really is, because you've got to open the box, pull the book out, sign it, put a nice note in there, put it back in the box. By the way, you guys didn't leave notes of your address. So now I got to find you on Instagram, send you a DM, or go back through my DMs to see if you sent me an address. And then I've got to put that address on the box and then tape that box back up and move it aside. And I got to do that over 100 times. I'm working on it. And I'm trying to do the book tour, and I'm trying to get these book signings going on, and I'm trying to do the bookmarks, and I'm trying to just like, it's just, there's no time. Plus I have 5 kids and a wife, and this week, listen, I was broke this week. This week, I'll just be like real honest with you guys. This week I said, fuck all of it. I'm done. Like, I'm just going to quit everything. I'm done with all of this because I wake up every morning feeling like I've let somebody down. I didn't mail out the book in time. I didn't mail out this. I didn't do this. I didn't respond to this text message. I didn't respond to this DM. This person messaged me, had a big fight with this one person who sent me a DM on Instagram, said, I've been trying to message you for months. You never respond to my shit, blah, blah, blah. I can't believe I followed you. You're a disgrace. Like, you're a fake. You're a fraud. Like, you don't really care about the fans, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like crushing. I'm like killing myself going like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Is he crazy? Like, I'm literally in the DMs right now. This is the first DM this dude's ever sent me. Like, what is he talking about? Guess what I found yesterday on my Meta dashboard for failure to stop is a whole, so there's a spam file, and then there's another file that's not spam, but it's, I don't even know what it's called. Let's see if I can figure it out. It's called, message requests. Just found it for my first time ever. Go through that, and oh boy, wouldn't you have it? There is hundreds of messages. Now, this is date backs for the lifeline of this podcast. I don't know what makes it go into message request folder or what goes into spam folder. I've checked the spam folder every month or so, and there's always like 1 or 2 messages in there that aren't spam. Who knew that there was a message request folder? I don't even know what makes a request go. So this guy sent me all these messages on that platform, on the Facebook Meta platform. It's gone into message requests, and then he hits me up from another profile, and I get the thing. And this guy's just fumingly mad because he was trying to correct me on something, and he accuses me of ignoring him. And I sent him a long I sent him a long note back that said, that was never my intent, but I think he blocked me. So I don't even think he got it. But anyway, I was just kind of tired this week. I said, you know what, dude, like everything that I do, somebody's always mad at me. Somebody's always mad at me. I'm a disappointment to everyone. I didn't call this person back. I didn't message this guy. I didn't turn this writing into this person. I didn't make this meme. This person sent me something. I didn't make a video because they sent me a gift. Every day I feel like I'm a disappointment, and it caught up to me this week. And I said, I don't want to do this anymore, dude. Like honestly, I don't even feel good anymore about the book. Like now I just feel like the book's more problems than it is anything else because I can't be at this place or I can't do this. And it's like the things that I can do are they like the people just like, it's like they show up and I'm expected to be there. And so nobody like, it's not like, oh, you made it. Like, that's great. It's like, no, you're here because you're supposed to be here. And that's the way it works. But then when the things that you don't get done, it's catastrophic to those people. So your wins are very minor and your losses are very extreme. And I'm a loving guy that only wants to make people happy. That's like the only thing I ever wanted to do is entertain people. That's all I want to do. I want to make you smile. I have a Christian heart. I always have had a Christian heart. And I feel like the one thing that I've always always wanted to do was just watch. Like the best thing about owning a rum bar and a distillery was, and I used to say what keeps me going is like the smiles at the bar and the happiness at my bar, and that everybody is always happy. I remember that's like what, like that's so that was like refueling my tank, charging my batteries, was watching people, entertaining them with my cop stories, entertaining them with our bar skills, making fantastic, phenomenal drinks, being back behind the bar with my wife, being a good influence to others. That's fun for me. When you are the center of disappointment, that's not fun for me anymore. I haven't had fun in 2 weeks. I wrote a book that I wanted to be entertaining. I feel more people are upset about me of the book over like not signing books or doing this or doing that, like, than anything. But it's like, okay, well, if I stop and I peel out 6 hours of the day to sign this book and I don't go to this book signing, if I do this but I don't go have this meeting, if I do this and I don't have that meeting, which keeps literally food on the table. And by the way, I'm probably spending more money advertising on the book than I get back, in the first 2 weeks. Because let's say you put $2,000 into marketing, you're not going to get that $2,000 back for like 3 months, maybe 4 months. These people don't pay you. It's not like you sell 10 books and you get that money right away. Like, these people don't pay you, but they're like 90-day turnarounds. So yeah, maybe closer to Christmas, I'll have a lot of money and I'll feel pretty good about myself. But like right now, I'm in the throes of it. Like right now, I got like $25 in my bank account. I'm not complaining. Please. I'm really not complaining. I just want to be real with you guys, because it's all I've ever wanted to do is be real. And I feel like I want to know where you guys, I want you guys all to know that whatever you're going through, we're all going through it too. We can all do this together. We really can. And I learned that this week because I called all my friends and they were like, dude, why didn't you call us like 2 weeks ago? Like before you got to this moment, like, why weren't you telling us that you were going to these problems? We could figure this out. We can help you. And I was like, well, how can you help me? I mean, it's all work that I have to do. It's not like you guys can do that work for me. Michael says, sorry to hear that. Michael, you drove all the way from Virginia, and that's like I barely got to spend a lot of time with you. You drive all the way from Virginia, and I'm in the middle of this signing. And I pray that your time was special here, and same with everybody else. There was another guy that came down from Virginia, and he didn't go to dinner with us, but he went home just kind of like you did. And that made me sad because I missed out on that. It's always like, I get sad when I don't get to do the things I didn't, luckily, Michael, we got to go to dinner together, and that made me feel good and things like that. But, this week I did, I was all in to quit. I was all in to be done with this. And actually my plan was I was going to go get a job at the post office, and I was going to get a delivery route, and I was going to delete my social media, not tell a single person. And I was just going to ghost, and the book was just going to do whatever the book was going to do. And I wasn't going to chase dreams anymore. Like that's literally what I was like, dude, I'm done chasing dreams. Like I'm done doing it. It's been 41 years. I chasing the hardest things to do in the military, and then leaving law enforcement to open up my own bar, my own distillery, trying to start a podcast, working on a podcast network, trying to grow a podcast, trying to grow a YouTube channel, trying to chase. There's an easy way out. I can just go get a real man's job and just be done with all of this dumb shit that doesn't really mean anything. And that was my attitude. And they said, well, it does mean everything. And they were like, start looking at all the messages. Go look at your reviews. Look at what these people have to say about you. Go look at this. Go look at your chats and your comments. Like everybody, like people do love you. You're just not seeing it. People do like you. You're just not saying, all you're seeing is the disappointments. Like you got to look at the wins and the victories too. And maybe that's why on the podcast I do with Andy Stumpf, there's so many negative comments. And of course I don't see the positive comments. I only see the negative comments, but like, oh, this guy has imposter syndrome, or this guy's got low self-esteem, and like, I just kind of dwelled on too many things. I actually turned down a podcast next week. It's an entrepreneur podcast. And the guy called me for the meeting, like right in the throes of all this. And I said, I'm a big fan of yours. I've always been a big fan of yours. I'm so shocked that you even called me. Like, this is incredible. I'm so sorry to tell you that this isn't what I wanted our first conversation to ever be. Like, if anything, I'd like to just melt because I've followed you for such a long time and I can't believe I'm getting this phone call. But I can't go on your podcast because it would be a fraud. I'm a fraud. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not a successful entrepreneur. I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money. I have one car and a 1,500 square foot home with 5 kids that I homeschool and homestead. So my house is a very homeschooled, homesteaded house of chaos. My laundry's not caught up. My my cabinets are not full of groceries. My truck is not full of gas. And here I'm going to go on this podcast and pretend just because, we got 2 million downloads on our podcast last year. And because on paper it looks successful. I have this book by Simon Schuster, a large book. Like, I have a lot of things that on paper look like I'm the real deal, but I'm not. And I feel like I don't want to go on another podcast. I'm tired of people thinking that I got my shit together. Well, that's the furthest thing from the truth. The only thing I have in order is my wife and my kids. That's it. I have a great relationship with my wife, great relationship. That's the only thing real. Everything else is chaos. Everything else is me trying to catch up on everything else. That's the truth. That's the whole truth of all of this. And so this guy told me that, and I'm going on his podcast. I don't want to spoil it, and I'll advertise when I go on it. But this guy who is worth over $20 million, probably way over that. Actually, I have no idea what he's really worth, but I will safely guess it's over 20 million. And he spent an hour and a half talking to me on the phone. This guy who shouldn't talk to me for 10 seconds on paper talks to me for an hour and a half, tells me all the things about his car getting repoed, about his house getting evicted from his house, trying to open up his business, trying to do all these things, like the relationship issues, all the things that he had. This guy gave it all to me. This guy doesn't even know me. I'm supposed to go on his podcast. He calls me for a quick thing for me to study up on real fast. We end up having this hour and a half long contact, this thing, and he tells me, and he says, I tell him that, hey, I quit this week. Like, I'm done. I'm doing my last podcast on Friday. I'm selling all my equipment. I will never ever look back at entrepreneurship ever again. It's not going to happen. It's not fair to my family. It's not fair to my kids. It's not. It's just like, I want to go live an easy life now. Like, I've tried everything. It's been well over 10 years of trying, and it just wasn't in my cards. Maybe I'm just not that good. I'm not good enough to do these kinds of things. And so he told me his whole life story. And of course he ended it with, that's the journey. Like, that is the journey. Like, there is no quit. Like, society would like to make you think that there's a way out. There's not a way out. Like, this is what I was born to do, was to fight. This is my fight. This is my journey. And I have to just suck it up and I have to keep going. That's what I have to do. And so it was a very positive conversation that I never expected to have with this guy. That's how God works, right? Like, you ask for a sign. Like, God, show me a sign, give me something. And all of a sudden, this guy from Tap Out that owns Tap Out, I'll just say it. He calls me and Dan Caldwell, and he talks to me for an hour and like 26 minutes. Exactly. There's your sign from God, right? So that's where I'm at, guys. I wanted to be honest with you. I don't want to be fake. I don't want to be an influencer. Obviously, you guys know that. I like to be a podcaster. The Wolfpack has been very great to me. You guys have been very, very gracious. And you guys have always been, what drives me and what goes for law enforcement. So, with all that being said, I say thank you. I'm going to pull this all together. I don't know how. I'll just be honest with you. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know how to make it all work out. I don't know how. I don't have an answer. I'll say this: it's coming. I'm not going to not get these books out. Like, that's never going to not happen. It's just one of those things that I have to stop feeling sorry for myself and say, like, all right, dude, fuck it. Like, you're going to have to, like, this is important. Sit down, knock this shit out, and fuck everybody else for just a minute. And it's okay. But I have to learn that. My wife was there for me this week. She had no idea. I mean, she had an idea, because she was the one that, like, made me sit on the edge of the bed and have a conversation, because I hadn't been myself in a few weeks. And so she was like, well, I'm going to go all in with you. Like, I'm going I'm going to be your assistant. And we're going to start knocking this out together. We're going to get through this together. We're going to knock these things out. We're going to make shit happen together. Ranger Up hit me up with an incredible opportunity to run their social media. That was unexpected. So that happened. Again, like I said, God works in mysterious ways. I had no plans. That was never in the cards to have Ranger Up want me to do anything for them and their revitalization of the company. And they'd come out without telling me a Pig Latin t-shirt from Ranger Up that, I'll probably get kickbacks. It'd probably be very small, but not a big deal. But at least it's like they're out there advertising for me. It's up on their website. I'm wearing the shirt now. It's actually kind of a cool shirt because out of context, everybody's been like, what is that? What is Pig Latin? Like, they don't know if it's anti-cop or pro-cop. So it's been actually a very surprising conversation piece. So a lot of things, are happening. And then of course I started talking to Ranger Up even more. And now it looks like, it looks like I will be doing some social media for them. And that's going to be kind of exciting. And so, I felt like it was all lost and it was just an epic failure. And once again, like, just the disappointment, like, consumed me. And then just hang in there and you pray and you ask God for answers. And you get a phone call. You get a phone call from Dan Caldwell. You get a call from Ranger Up and Nick and the boys. And you get these calls, you get these little nuggets that you just have to look for. And you have to have a support system of people telling you to look for them. And if it wouldn't have been for all my friends, for people reaching out to me in this last week that I confided in, I really feel like that's the hole that you fall in that you don't get out of, is when you don't reach out to those people and you don't tell people what the fuck is going on in your life and you try to carry the load yourself. And you destroy yourself. And I was literally at the point of destroying myself, where I was like, I'm out. I'm going to go be a postman and I'm done. Like, you guys can have all this. I don't want to be rich, but I definitely don't want to be a disappointment to everybody. So, done feeling sorry for myself. There's people that have a lot worse problems. Woe is me. I hope that if you can take one thing from this, know that whatever you're going through, keep going. Reach out to your friends. Look at the brighter side of things. Don't look at the negative constantly. You've got to be able to look past things. Don't look at other people's success and feel like you're not successful. Don't look at these influencers. Don't look at other people and their lives and think, oh, I wish I was doing what they're doing. Like, you have your own journey, and trust me, their journeys suck too. It's part of the game. It's part of the journey. And I pray that you guys just keep going, finish the race. If you have to walk a little bit, fine. If you got to jog. If you can run. If you got to go back to walking, if you got to stop and drink some water, but don't quit the race. Like, don't quit. I'm sorry for even thinking about it. And I'm so thankful that I have friends and people who believe in me. And I hope that you have that. And if you feel like you don't, I promise I believe in you. I promise if you can get a hold of me, if you just go the extra mile, maybe if you're not getting a response from me, try a different route. But if you really absolutely have to get a hold of me, I promise you can get a hold of me. If I'm your last resort, I will be here for you. I promise. And I'm not going to judge you. And it's never too late to turn from whatever it is that you're doing wrong and try to do it right. Nothing that says that society like to cancel people over shit that they did 10 years ago. I don't believe in that. That's why I don't believe in that's why I never got involved in the Tim Kennedy stuff. Tim Kennedy has his own demons. Everybody has their own demons. My whole thing with Tim Kennedy is I hope he beats his demons. I hope all the things that he actually has done make him strong enough to overcome this milestone. Just as my friends that are alcoholics, or my friends that are struggling with sex addictions or porn addictions or drug addictions or whatever it is that they have going on in their lives. Like, I just hope that they're strong enough to beat those demons and come back to the light and come back. And I'm never going to be the guy that's going to be judging on you or hating on you. If one thing that we can learn from through all this Charlie Kirk stuff is forgiveness is also real. Repentance is real. All of these things are real. We all deserve a second chance. We really do. We really do. Because we're all flawed. We're all flawed in our own ways. And so I love you guys. I apologize for taking up all this time for you guys. Low Ren since then, but you don't have to do that, Low Ren. But I really do appreciate it, man. And my whole goal for all of this is I always just want to bring back to the law enforcement communities, and I want to build morale and not tear it down. And I want to be a clout chaser. I don't want to do things that just make me famous. I just want to be Eric Tansey, and I want one person or 5 people that need it to be inspired by it or want to be a part of it and be a part of this family. And I hope that, the family can take some of that burden, and that it's not Eric Tansey show, that it is the Folk Around and Find Out show, that it is the Tyler Ash show. It's the Armory Night show. It's the Bosco show. It's the Nijkin show. Like, I want this to be a community where you guys have each other, Mur 530, Michael August, and all these guys that have always been there. I've been posting a lot more in the FTS Wolfpack because that is the family that I have, and I'm not looking for fans outside of that. That's why I like the FTS Wolfpack private group. If you want to be a part of that group, I encourage you to be in that group. It is good to see, and I scrolled through the group this week when I was in my low points, just scrolling through it and seeing you guys' happiness and trying to feed from you guys' happiness and from your successes. And so I don't know where I'm going to go. This was an eye-opening 2 weeks for me. But it did show me how important this community is to me, and that it is the most important thing to me, and that I'm not chasing these other opportunities to forget about this community. I'm chasing those opportunities to grow this community, to give back to this community, to give back to law enforcement, in a selfless way, in a way that you guys can actually be the stars of the show. Like, I would love to get up with, like, so many of you guys want to start nonprofits, and so many of you guys want to do things. And that's what you can do, man. There's nothing more that I would like to do. Take 10 of you guys and pay for your flights to go down to the inner city and give out some turkeys, or to go meet with fallen soldiers' families, or anything, just anything we can do together as a team. That's what I want to do. And then maybe that's where the goal is that we are the wolf pack, and then the wolf pack will be able to, when the Pennsylvania has these things, that we're able to rally up the troops and get to Pennsylvania and do something for those families. When there's a hurricane or something like that, and there's law enforcement officers that are working 48, 72 hours when their own houses have been fucked up, that we're there for the families. We're there cooking at the stations. We're there giving them food. Something that we can do to give back as a family, the potluck family, like the churches used to have. Those things take time. Obviously can't rush into those things. But that is the overall goal in the next 5 years, is to be able to do stuff like that. And it is a long journey. Thank you guys again. I apologize for feeling sorry for myself. But if I'm going to be honest to anybody, it has to be you guys. It has to be you guys. So here I am. This is me. If you want to unfollow it, that sucks, but I get it. If there's something I don't do, I'm only human. I make mistakes. I say stupid shit. I do stupid shit. I'm a C- student at best. I can't change that. That's who I am. That's the way I was born to do. But know that my intentions, I do feel like I have the best intentions for you guys, and for myself. So if there's anything we can do together, feel free to reach out. Abby, she's got a great podcast. Love to see all the things that she's doing. And that's all I've ever wanted, was to be together as a group, all doing things together. Again, I never wanted this to be the Eric Tansey show. I've always tried to have a co-host, always. Unfortunately, podcasting is a strange thing, and we all learn hosting in different ways and things like that. So I'm lucky to have guys like Josh and John and Abby and Cameron and just everybody that's a part of the team. All you folks that are running the Wolfpack, the Discord channels and all those things, and keeping the family going. Like, you guys will have a bigger piece of the pie. You guys deserve a bigger piece of the pie. You deserve more notoriety. And so I don't know what's going to happen next. I know that I have to just get through the rest of this book tour. I have to get through this part, and then figure out how do we make Wolfpack even bigger, and how do we make this podcast even better, And how do we do more things together? That's my goal. That's what makes me happy. And so that's what we want to do. For myself and everybody here on the Wolf Pack, guns up and giddy up. Have a wonderful weekend. Keep your head above the water. Keep breathing. Somebody will come and save you soon enough. Just don't go under. You got it. Reach out. Get help. Trust me. Do it. Cheers.